Welcome back, everybody. This is episode 24. Shout out Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. Episode 24 of Peaked in College. Um, had another long hiatus, but we're back. We're never going to give up on this podcast. We're never going to give up on each other. So, Craig, thanks for coming back and not giving up on me.
Yeah, it's good to be back. Thanks for all our loyal listeners for not giving up on us. I think just a long summer break is just the new norm, but we can work to fix that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at some point people will probably get sick of hearing us talk. So having like 2 months off between each episode is almost refreshing for the folks out there listening that they can say, we had a good vacation away from these two guys. We can tune back in and see what they've been up to.
Exactly. Yeah, maybe it's actually good.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's a good thing. But speaking of what we've been up to, haven't been up to much. We are moving. Jackie and I are going to move here soon, so you can see the boxes in the background. Probably this room is complete pigsty right now. So my studio is all screwed up, but we are getting a new apartment here soon. What's been up with you guys?
Well, first of all, I'm excited for you, David, to become a little bit more negative. You've been pretty positive the past few shows. So like you going through a move is gonna be good just for vibes, just for you to get a little
Yeah.
grouchy.
Yeah,
That'll be good for
it's
us.
great for my mood and my depression for me to be going through another move because if you've been listening to this podcast, if you are one of those loyal listeners that Craig mentioned earlier, you know how much I hate moving. Moving is the absolute worst thing on planet Earth. I'm not going to spend a bunch of time bitching about it this episode because you can watch the old ones to listen to my feelings
Or you
about
can
moving.
you can tune in next episode to hear
Yeah,
about David
you can
complaining about moving.
tune in next episode to the in my new studio just to hear about how the move went. But it's going to be chaotic. It's going to be a disaster. I already know. So maybe if I just expect that to happen, it'll be better than expected.
I like it. I like it.
So are
But
you all moved in, settled in your new place?
yeah,
Because you just had a move. Speaking of that,
yeah, I'm in the midst of a move. So this sucks.
does moving to like a permanent place, does that really ever even end anyways? Like it feels like you're never fully moved in, does it?
Yeah, I feel like we're really close. I mean, we've been doing a lot of like paint, like so. I do feel like we're like fully moved in. We have like a storage unit though, like in our basement, which really helps. So we haven't. That's like not super organized, but once we get some new like bins, that will be. So then it'll feel more settled. Um, but right now, dude, it's just there's just boxes and painting and everything everywhere.
Yeah, painting, that's always like a big pain in the ass too. Like,
Yeah,
uh, and paint can't be cheap. Like how many so in order to paint the room that you're in now, is that like one can of paint? Is it two cans of paint?
maybe like a gallon.
So a
Yeah, it's
gallon's
not
like
cheap.
a can?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not cheap. I mean, especially
it's
by the
not
high
cheap.
quality products. And don't you have to like double layer it or you have to do primer first or something?
We did primer when it was like a dark color we were painting over, but like there was some like tan colors that we are painting over, and we'd go like to a gray, so we didn't have to like do like a primer on that.
That's
Um,
nice.
yeah.
Because like
So I don't know. Primer's
double the
cheaper, so
work
when you can
is
use primer, it's good. But I don't know. Honestly, it's not the worst until you start doing like the detail work. That's like the trim, doors, like the actual walls, completely fine.
yeah.
But when there's weird edges and stuff, that's when it sucks.
That'd be a good job distribution for you and Sophia is like you get out the big stick with the big roller, just roll your ass off until all the walls are covered, and then she gets the little paintbrush and does all the trimmings in all the corners.
No, dude, that's the worst though. Is she's so short that she can only reach half of the wall. So
Ah,
like she does as much as she can, and it's still like less than half. You know,
yeah,
like
true.
she's
Yeah.
trying, but like we even bought like a stepping stool for painting, and it just can
No,
only get up so high.
she needs a ladder, not a stepping
Like,
stool.
and it's also, dude, I'm gonna sound old now, but this is like it hurts my back to like paint the ceilings. Like you're putting like a lot of weird pressure like above your head. It sucks. It sucks.
I could see
But
that. Yeah. Are you painting the ceilings too?
yeah, yeah.
Yikes. Have you damaged any of your clothing or shoes that you like? Or have you been smart and wore like crappy stuff?
I wore stuff that I was willing to get like rid of and throw away. So um
Nice.
no bad accidents there.
No clothes were harmed in the making of this condo.
No, exactly.
That's good. Do you have to like fix anything or like, like rebuild anything or do any sort of handiwork?
I'm doing some caulking or some so going over like I don't even know what caulk is, but it's some kind of substance over like our bathroom
Yeah.
surfaces. The one thing that did take a lot of work, and shout out my parents for helping out with this, but our balcony, so we have a metal balcony that's private, and it was pretty rusty. Like they had a kind of like an outdoor rug that had like led to some rust, and so we had to like scrub it all down and like sand the rust off, and then like painted that. And so that was a lot of work, and that was like when it was like bad air quality in Chicago. There's like the fires in Canada, and so I'm like spending like hours outside,
Oh,
just
great.
inhaling that and like
Yeah.
paint.
Just
Um,
trashing your, now you get the lungs of somebody who's smoked a pack a day for the past 20 years.
yeah, and I already have asthma, so that's great, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's the last thing
um,
you need is that air quality.
but that's like I'd say like the worst part. Other than that, and painting's like rewarding. It looks good. So
Do you know how to be handy? Like, do you know how to fix stuff if need be?
no, I'm not super handy. I'd say not naturally. And my dad, this isn't like a dig on him, but he didn't like teach me a ton.
Yeah.
But I
My
will
dad's the
say
same
that
way.
like he would rather just do it himself. Like he's a handyman, but he like didn't want to teach me. So I just look up videos. So
Well, that's
Tom
good that
Wood
he
seems
was
like he'd be
handy.
a
I
yeah.
mean, my dad had the ambition. He always like went out and tries to do stuff, which I have to admire as a son, you know. I mean, he doesn't want to hire anybody if he doesn't have to, which I respect. But I don't think he really knew what he was doing most of the time, and he definitely couldn't teach me because, you know, in order for you to teach someone something, you have to know really well how to do it. So, you
Do
know,
you
I
have any
can't
stories
blame
of
him.
him
Like,
like messing things up?
no, I can't really remember anything he's messed up, but I just vividly remember him always trying to like take care of like wasp nests and stuff. And that's always sketchy,
Oh,
you know. But I saw that,
that sounds terrible. That's next level. I would not do that.
hell, we always
Um,
had them. We always had like bad wasp nests in the corner and stuff, and you just get out this like wasp spray, and like that wasp spray is powerful though. You can basically stand like 20 yards away and just power spray those wasps. But some of them, you know, the strong ones, survival of the fittest. Some of them get out of that foam and they're coming straight for you.
this
So
podcast brought to you by SaveTheBees.com.
yeah, yeah, no, screw bees. But no, bees are good. Hornets are bad.
Yeah,
Wasps.
okay, that's fair. That's
But
fair.
bees are good. Bumblebees are good. Yeah, shout out to Alex Alba. But speaking of that, I just saw this video on Instagram Reels. They apparently you can like get a full education from TikTok and Instagram Reels. So this person had this like mason jar of gasoline, and they held the gasoline. So it's probably about a third of the way full. Holds a thing of gasoline and like plugs it over the wasp's nest, and the wasps just like start falling down from the nest into the gasoline, and so they just die. I don't know if it's the fumes. It must be the fumes. They're in like an entrapped area with the gasoline fumes, and they just die. So like if you're out there listening and you don't want to get, you know, you don't want those wasp nests to take over, fill up a little jar of gasoline and get close enough to put it above and trap them in there. But just be careful because you have to get much closer than with that spray. So Tom, maybe
We're
don't
gonna
try
get
that.
sued over
Dad,
this content for sure.
Dad,
Someone's
don't
either gonna
try
blow
that.
their house up or get stung by a million hornets or wasps.
Yeah, if you're allergic, I don't recommend. And you know, really, I don't. I can't be legally held accountable for anything bad that happens to you, but it's just something that I saw that you could give a shot. Give it a shot.
Smart, smart. Shout out TikTok.
Yeah. So if you guys on your nice new rust-free patio, if you have some wasp nest developing, just keep that in mind. Okay. But
We
also,
will.
like, if you don't have a house, like I live in an apartment, right? Like I don't have gasoline just like sitting around. Like I don't have
Right, right,
a
right.
garage with like a weed whacker and a mower and like shit that I would need gas for. But like most homeowners should have it. But like I can't. I could just walk down to Casey's or Hy-Vee and like grab a mason jar and fill up like 25 cents worth of gas, I guess. But like that seems pretty sketchy.
That's actually a funny thought. Like, have you ever gone and filled up something other than your car with gas at the gas station?
Me personally, no, but I've been with like buddies who've had to fill up like a tank, like one of those red like
Yeah.
for like
For
boats
what?
or like jet skis
Oh, for
or
boats. Yeah,
lawnmowers or
that
I
makes
also
sense.
never realized like I always thought growing up just because my dad always did that stuff like mowing the lawn and stuff and weed whacking, you don't just use like regular like car gas. I didn't realize that. Like maybe people out there probably watching, like listening to this, saying like David's a moron. But
We're
like
two more.
when I like lived with my grandma, like, and I had to mow her lawn and like weed whack, I like had to like look up like a bunch of YouTube videos and like Google it to make sure I was like putting the right shit in there because I know my grandpa would be pissed in heaven if I like messed up his weed whacker by putting like diesel fuel in his weed whacker or something or like
Shout out
super
YouTube.
in the lawnmower, you know? Yeah, shout
I
out
will say
YouTube.
that that's one thing that's improved a lot in the last 5 years is like when you Google something stupid. Like I remember being in third grade and they're like, don't Google, how do I do this? Like use buzzwords and keywords. Now you can Google whatever you want. The search engines are pretty good. But like if you Google like, how do I fill up my weed whacker with gas? A YouTube video cut to like the right second will start. And like it's gotten a lot better.
Yeah, it has gotten better. And I think there's a couple generous people out there that have like created these YouTube pages of like helping guys like us figure things like that out, you know? I think it's incredible that like people can find like I was talking to one of my coworkers and he asked me to come over to like help him lift like his dryer back onto his washer because he like stacks them. He had to lift the dryer off originally to like fix something in it. And I like asked him, I'm like while we're lifting, I'm like, how'd you even know how to fix this? Like, where'd you learn how to fix this like Samsung dryer? And he was just like, I just YouTube like the make and model and like some guy had a video doing the exact thing that I needed to do. And I was like, damn, like what are the odds of that, you know?
Yeah.
But that could be easily like that should be with the income that you can make off YouTube, like not us because we get like 20 views each video, but like if the income you could make off sponsorships and things like that, like and views, people could make a living off of like creating like how-to videos.
Yeah, for sure.
Like business idea. And since we don't have many listeners, no one really important is going to listen to this, but business idea for like Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, like get a guy that goes through your appliance section or whatever and just like shows people how to fix certain broken parts. You could put like I guess you'd be putting like the small man or the middleman out of business probably by taking away like, call Mike if your stuff breaks down type of thing.
Yeah. No, I like that.
Mike would be
I think this is
unemployed, walking the
we
streets
didn't
homeless.
we didn't talk pre-show about doing this, but do you want to do like a top three like home improvement stores? I'm just really curious what you would say.
Yeah, sure. Why not? You want to do it right now?
Yeah, let's do it right now.
Okay, you have to go first though, so you can go in whatever order you want. But top three home improvement stores. Okay, go
Okay.
ahead.
I'm gonna come in at number three, and this is pretty generic, but I think it's fair. I've lived at a couple different places recently in the past 3 years, and there's always been just a mom and pop hardware store that's like a block away from me. And those
That's
places have
fortunate.
come in clutch. Definitely a little bit more expensive, which is fine. But just being able to walk a block and pick up something that I know I need has been good. So I'm going to say that for number three.
And they survived COVID.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, they did.
Yes. Hey, shout out small
One of them I
businesses.
went there a lot during COVID. So
Yeah, we support small business. That's good. That's good. So mom and pop's generic answer there. I'll come in and clock in at my number three and say Ace. Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks. Is that what that last word is? Place? Ace is the place with the helpful hardware. What?
yeah, I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen the
All right,
TV
yeah.
ad.
But Ace Hardware, shout out Ace. I do have a story about Ace once. We went there once to it was actually me and an ex-girlfriend. I won't name any names, but we went to Ace Hardware to pick up
No
something. It was
names.
like a piece of something that we needed or like a tool or whatever. And we went to the cash register. We're the only people in the whole building. It was the Ace Hardware on Ingersoll. And they were like, "Do you want to sign up for like an Ace Hardware membership card?" And then my ex significant other was like, "No, I will never be back to Ace Hardware." And like she didn't have any like beef with Ace Hardware, but like it came off so
No,
bad, and the poor Ace Hardware worker was just devastated. So like we laughed about it afterwards, but like I felt bad for like that little high school kid, you know?
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and then
Oh.
she felt terrible too when when she realized like how bad it sounded.
Now I want to know who this is.
Yeah. So there's that story, but that's all I got for Ace Hardware coming in at
Okay.
number three.
For my number two, I've got Menards, just to say big money. Um,
Solid
we always
answer.
did some Black Friday shopping there too. And then
For
I don't go
what?
there a lot. I
Shovels?
don't know, man. They had like TVs and random like stuff.
Actually, yeah. Actually, Menards has everything.
Yeah. And they have like good candy too. Um, but I haven't been to Menards a lot as an adult, but like their whole like mail-in rebate thing, like just makes you feel old. Like if you're gonna send in a mail-in rebate, like you feel like you're like a handyman, right?
Yeah, I feel like I think we've talked about this once at one episode with Nicole Melby with like mail-in rebates for
Right,
for
with
seltzers or
alcohol,
something.
yeah.
But have you ever done a mail-in rebate now that we're like 2 years after that episode?
Not with alcohol. I have with Menard stuff.
Is it
But I
like
think it's because I had to
expensive?
prove like this is like part of me like becoming a man is like going to Menards and sending in a mail-in rebate.
Yeah, sending in your first mail-in rebate is like really like kind of like the first step to
Yeah.
growing up. It's like you are it's your first step to becoming an old grumpy man where you need to get whatever rebate it is, you need to get whatever deal, whatever money cash back you can get out of the deal. But like, man, it takes effort to do mail-in rebates. I like the instant sales, the
Yeah.
instant discount at the register. That's what kind of guy I
I agree. It's not worth it. I'm probably not doing any more mail-in rebates. So I'm probably failing as a future man, but oh well.
am. This is tough.
There's,
This is tough.
there's not that many hardware stores. This is a lot harder than I realized.
There's a couple good options left. You're at the advantage here because you got one choice left. I have two. Um, just gonna take this one just because I don't want to lose it to you. But I'm afraid it's more of a one than two for me. But I'm gonna go Lowe's. I'm
Let's
a
go.
Lowe's guy.
Let's go.
I know what you're gonna take as your number one, and that sucks that I missed out on it. But I'm gonna go Lowe's. I'm a Lowe's guy. I like the vibes, the ambiance when you walk in, the warehouse feel. I mean, I know they all kind of have a warehouse feel, but shout out Lowe's. I like the blue. I like the color. We just went to Lowe's to get a screw the other day. Great experience. Shout out Lowe's.
I'm so glad that you said Lowe's because that's not my number one.
Yeah, I know what your number one is. Everybody listening knows what your number one is, but go ahead and say it.
Home Depot? Is that?
Yeah,
Is that
Home Depot.
okay? And that's only because I actually haven't had like the best experience at Home Depot, but it's just close to me and it's easy and they have everything I need. And when I really need something, I can find someone to help me. So I'm that's like a week one, but that's where I've been doing. That's where I've been buying the paint and buying like new closet shelves and stuff like that. So
Yeah. I kind of feel basic for like you and I saying Home Depot and Lowe's. Like we should have a vast knowledge, but I'm glad you said Mom and Pops is your number three. All right, my number one, I will say the brothers, Blaine and Mills. So Blaine's Farm and Fleet or Mills Fleet Farm. I believe they're brothers and they eventually split up and then they went their separate ways and created their own. So there's Mills Fleet Farm and Blaine's Farm and Fleet. So I'm going to combine them both and that's going to be my number one, the brothers.
okay. I've never been, but that sounds like a great
Yeah,
number
I
one.
think it's a Wisconsin thing, but kind of like a Menards. But good ambiance all around. You walk in, you feel the family ties and the vibes, and the workers are always nice. It feels like it's a family owned company. Even though there's a bitter rivalry between the brothers, you don't feel that tension as you walk in.
They're probably like drinking Spotted Cow in the back.
They could be, yeah, they could be, just cheersing Spotted Cows, saying that we got him. We thought that
Talking about Jordan Love.
yeah, we told them that we were fighting, but we got him. Now they're picking a side, but really they're supporting us both. And I'm one of those suckers.
Yeah. Do they have those out in Nebraska?
No, not in Nebraska, I don't think. I think they're building one though, to be honest.
That's exciting for you.
I don't know if Mills is coming or Blaine is coming, but one of the brothers is coming out here. So I'm sure the other brother will follow shortly.
I like it. Well, thank you for entertaining me with that impromptu top three.
Yeah, that was good. I'm glad you brought it up. It was a good middle of the episode top three today. We usually put it at the end, but hey, we're just keeping all the listeners on their toes. We've had a couple months off. Maybe we're switching things up. You don't know. Like you're gonna have to listen to episode 25 to see what's going on.
Right. Maybe we'll start off with it.
Yeah, but the Kobe Bryant episode, anything's possible.
Right.
Even though it's a Kevin Garnett quote.
One shout out KG and Kobe. One thing that I've seen on TikTok, people doing a little bit is doing like a top five. Like I say a thing, a category, like a name or something, and you rank it, but without knowing what's following. And we'll have to do that sometime because that's kind of fun when you have to think about like, oh, like this guy's not my number one, but I don't know what's coming after this. So do I put him at number two? Do I put him at number three?
Yeah, like a draft.
Yeah, but you don't know what I'm gonna say.
Well, I don't know what you're gonna say every time we do top three today. You know what I'm saying? Like every time it's a risk, every time we do it. But I just think it's worked so well for you and I because we're so polar opposite from each other.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that's fair.
Like
We
our
both
minds
ended up
are
pretty okay with those
our
answers.
minds are never really firing on the same
Yeah.
cylinders.
Yeah,
Somehow,
Lowe's was not even top 10 on mine. I can't even name 10 other stores, but Lowe's was not on
yeah.
it.
See that's a healthy relationship where we don't really take each other's choices.
Yeah.
I feel like no matter what it is, pizza toppings, appetizers, we have a good feeling about what the other's gonna pick.
I remember Super Bowl snacks, and we like could not disagree more. Like,
Yeah. Usually that's how it goes. Usually we're like on opposite ends of
yeah,
the spectrum. Maybe like
yeah,
cheap beers we were close to each other, but
yeah. Well, I pissed your dad off with that one. I think I said Carlsberg, and that was like,
yeah, you said something like on the more expensive side, I think.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I went to speaking of cheap beer, I really like Rolling Rock and I get a lot of flack for that. But I went to this, I was at, damn, I don't even remember what event. Oh yeah, I was at Jethro's. I thought I was at a wedding, but I was at Jethro's before a wedding. And waitress comes over, a nice waitress. She's just like, hey, what can I get you guys a drink? I was like, do you guys have Rolling Rock? Because it was just like the first thing that I thought of that sounded really good in the moment. And it's not really like socially acceptable to drink like any Bud Light products right now. So I was like, can I get a Rolling Rock? And she looked at me like she had never heard of Rolling Rock in her life. And then I realized in that moment, like, it's possible that she hasn't. Because like she was probably like 21 or 22. Rolling Rock, really, you don't see a lot of it like in college or in high school or anything. Like,
Which is weird because it's like pretty cheap, right? I mean, I haven't bought like a case, but I mean,
yeah, I
at
bought a
least,
case. Yeah, it's like on the cheaper end. Yeah.
yeah.
So I don't know what people's beef with it is. What's your beef with Rolling Rock? Do you have one?
I don't. I've actually had a good experience with the Rolling Rock. I went on a spring break trip once with some buddies, and we weren't quite 21, but we
Allegedly.
weren't, yeah, well, allegedly. And we were just having a great trip, and we weren't doing anything like heinous or anything. And we're staying at my friend's grandparents, and like the last night, we just were like, hey, like, can we go have some pizza and like have a beer by the sun, watch the sunset? And the grandpa was like, yeah, like I would be mad if you didn't have a beer with pizza. And he gave us a Rolling Rock. So that's
What a
like the only
guy.
time I've ever had it.
What a guy. Yeah. And now you
Yeah.
have that great memory of Rolling
Yeah.
Rock.
So I don't know why I haven't
Yeah.
bought it more of it. It was fine. I mean,
Unless it was like abysmal tasting, like you're always gonna have a good memory of Rolling Rock because of that great moment you had drinking it.
exactly. So I'm
Like
gonna go to Jethro's and ask
my
for Rolling
mom
Rock.
likes Rolling Rock, so I have like always this like subconscious connection of me and my mother when I drink Rolling Rock. It like makes me feel closer to her. So, but Jethro's in Coralville does not have Rolling Rock, nor have their bartenders ever heard of it. So I immediately audibled and ordered a Coors Light, and the mountains were blue. So shout out Jethro's.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Gotta
Sometimes you
love
got to
some.
be ready. You got to be ready to call the audible. There's nothing worse than someone that like wants something and then when something like doesn't go that way, they are completely rattled and flustered. Does that happen with anybody that you go to restaurants with or a bar to? Like they're like, "Oh, I want the chicken strips." And they're like, "Oh, sir, we just ran out of the chicken strips." And you would think that you told them that they're both their grandparents and parents were in a car accident simultaneously.
Sophia's a little bit this way in that it's not that she has her mindset on something. Like I'd say like she's definitely foodie in that she loves trying new foods. She's not picky at all, but she's so bad at ordering in that like she looks at the menu and just doesn't think about it. And then until they come around and she's like, oh, I'll go last.
Oh,
And
that
all of a
would
sudden
piss
it's
me
her
off.
turn and she'll say like, she just like randomly picks like the seventh thing on the menu and is so flustered because like then she's like, oh no, that's not what I wanted. Like, but it's like just like figure it out, So
Yeah.
she's a queen of panic ordering. So
Oh, that would piss me off, dude. I don't know how you put up with that. But I guess speaking of my mom too, she is like the worst orderer ever, dude. And she'll look at the menu, not like Sophia. She'll look and she'll think, and she will think for minutes, for hours, trying to figure out what to get. And then no matter what happens, no matter how much time has elapsed, when the waiter or waitress comes up to ask, she is rattled to her core. So like, ladies and gentlemen, just look at the menu, pick something. You can always come back and get something different. Just pick something, stay confident in it, and do it.
great advice from David Wood. You
Yeah.
should be like a commencement speaker after that.
You think I'd be a good commencement speaker? I feel like I'm too bitter to be a commencement speaker. Like I would just stand up there and just be like, Drake University students, you made it, you graduated, and that's pretty much it. You're gonna work until you
Order
die.
your food and you can always go back.
Yeah, you can always return to the restaurant. Make sure you have a backup plan, and yeah, have fun working until you die. Thank you for
My
having me.
brother, my brother was telling me about the Drake commencement speaker this year, and apparently he spoke for like 30 minutes, and it was just terrible.
It's usually terrible.
Like, I mean, that's a long time to speak. Like, holy smokes.
It's usually I can say this now because I have my diploma and everything.
Yeah, I guess you
President
graduated
Martin,
twice.
President Martin is the worst commencement speaker. He always tells a stupid story that doesn't apply to anything. I've been to like 4 graduations and he is the worst. Nice guy, I'm sure, but that dude drove me nuts when he would get up there and talk. Those people that just love to hear their own voice. He's one of
Yeah,
those.
yeah. I like Marty, but so shout out Marty and his wife Laura, but that's
Yeah,
okay.
of course you like Marty, but I was kind of anti Marty the whole time throughout college. So when he got
That's
up there
fair.
and started rambling, I just knew we were in for it, and certainly we were in for it.
Yeah, that's
Did I
fair
ever
enough.
tell, did I ever tell you about like my usage of Poshmark lately in the
No.
last episode?
Oh yeah, what were you been buying stuff on? It's
Yeah.
like the used site, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, I bought this Rays hat the other day, and this was like one of the first times I've had a negative experience. So it came, it's brand new, it's got the tag. I would never buy like a hat that's used, right? That's weird. Well, this thing came, and then I swear to God, it's like the size for like a youth or a toddler. Like, so this is what fits. Look at the amount of snaps I have on there. It's like the last snap to fit on my head. Okay, so look how dumb that looks. And then I put it on. When I put it on for the first time, I was like, that's as far as it goes. Look at how far it goes down my head.
That has to be a youth hat, right?
It looks
I
like
mean,
a
you have a
yarmulke.
big head.
It looks like a yarmulke on my head. That's how far down it goes on my head. But yeah, I think it's a youth ad, so I like complained, but doesn't get you anywhere on that app.
So you're
So
not going to get any money
if
back.
anybody's looking for Tampa Bay Rays black hat for their child, hit me up, please. I'll sell it to you for a discounted rate just to get some of my money back. But it's not all sunshine and rainbows on that app. I just realized that.
Send all sunshine and rays on that app. You're wearing a lot of Rays stuff. You've got the jersey in the background. You got the quarter zip. How you feeling about the season?
I feel great about the season. They have the best record in the American League. They did have the best record in the MLB for a long time, but they lost a couple games, like probably 7 of the last 10. So they're on a cold streak. But they had the All-Star break. It's great timing for them. They needed it. They still got the best record in the American League. They're leading the American League East. They are traveling to Kansas City to play the Kansas City Royals, or as some people might call it, the Kansas Shitty Royals. They are the second worst team in the Major League Baseball. So I'm going to drive down to Kansas City and watch the Rays hopefully dominate the Royals this weekend. So I got the Rays jersey up here just for the vibes. I got the Rays quarter zip on. I tried to buy the Rays hat for this weekend, but that's clearly not going to work. So that's where I'm at emotionally.
Well, good luck. That's exciting. I had no idea that the Rays were even a top 5 team. I need to do a better job of following baseball, but I had no idea about
Yeah,
any of that. So that sounds cool.
bottom 5 in overall budget and payroll,
It's pretty
and
cool.
best record in the American League. So pretty impressive the way
Awesome.
that they get things done with the little resources that they have.
Yeah.
Have you been to
Like
any
that.
Cubs games?
We were gonna go on the Sunday before the 4th, just because we were off and it was like the one weekend. We have one other weekend through the end of mid-October where we're in Chicago with like no plans. So we were hoping to go, but it rained, like pouring rain all day, and got delayed a ton. We didn't buy tickets. We were just going to buy tickets like after the start of the game and just get them as cheap as we could because we live like a quarter mile from the stadium. So we're just going to be like, oh, like someone's going to be desperate to sell and we'll just buy them cheap. But it was pouring all night, so we didn't go.
Would you buy tickets from a scalper?
No, just online. Like people are trying to sell. Like, and I guess I've never done it, but I've heard from friends who've done it before that like, people are trying to sell their tickets online, after the first inning. I think they can sell them through like the third. That's when they have to like can't sell them anymore. So I think if it's in the first or second inning, they're like really trying to sell them because they can't get anything else. So
Sure. That's
because
when
we
you
live
get
so
them the
close,
cheapest.
and yeah, and so like because we don't, if I miss an inning or two, I'd say it's okay. Clearly, I'm not a huge baseball fan, so
Have you guys done like the bar scene in Wrigley yet?
a little bit. But again, we've just been so busy since we've like moved up closer to Wrigley. Like it's just we were gonna go one night earlier this week and just get a drink on like a rooftop bar, and it was raining. Like it's just been really wet and rainy here, and we've just been busy. So
Yeah.
we've done a couple bar crawls and stuff, but I kind of hate those. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pro tip, when I was trying to plan my brother's bachelor party, which he ended up refusing to do, I was looking, he's a Cubs fan, so I was looking at,
Yeah,
they have like those buildings behind the outfield, and you
yeah,
can
those
get
are
like
fun.
the rooftop tickets for like
Yeah,
$100, $125, and it's like all you can eat and drink.
yeah. So actually, that's a good thing. I actually did go to one of those I had a work conference in town,
Nice.
and we did one of those, and it was against the Cardinals, which is a big rivalry. Um, so I didn't go to that, but it was more about the networking and food and drink. So that was a good
Yeah.
time.
But that's kind of tough though, because you can't get like shit face hammered if you're at like a work event, you know?
No, yeah, yeah. But it was good to just mingle and get to watch some baseball. And I have some friends that are Cardinals fans, so talk some smack to them.
Yeah. Cardinals suck this year, dude.
Yeah,
I know you haven't followed baseball,
yeah.
but they're abysmal.
I knew that. They were struggling because I hear about that.
Yeah. They're bad. But I love baseball. I think this is the best time of year. I love watching baseball. I'm excited for football season, obviously, and we'll talk about that when it gets closer. But I love baseball. I love the vibes of baseball. I love going to baseball games. We have the Kansas City Royals AAA team here in Omaha. So I've been to a couple of those games, the Storm Chasers.
It's fun. Do they do like Dollar Dog Night or anything like that?
They have $2 nights on Thursdays. So I went to one of those.
Inflation.
Yeah,
Come on,
inflation. I
man.
know. Just last season it was dollar. This year
Dollar
it's
Dog.
$2. So you can
Can't do
go
it
up.
anymore.
You can get like $2 beers, $2 hot dogs. So basically, we went to that like a month ago. Me and a couple coworkers, and that was fun. You have a few beers, and Jackie was kind enough to DD for me, so I had a good time.
Awesome.
Yeah. But when I go to Kansas City for this Royals Rays game, I'm sure every beer is going to be like $18.
Yeah. I guess like 13.
Yeah, because like I remember like when I went to the Rays game with Nate like 2 years ago in Florida, I took him to the Trop, and I bought the tickets, and then like he still owed me, and the tickets were like 60 $50 $60 a piece or whatever. And he was like, well, I'll just start paying for beers, and then whatever I owe you at the end, I'll owe you at the end. And I'm like, all right, cool. Well, I ended up like owing him because that's how expensive the beers were. Like,
He had like 3 beers and
yeah, we had like
paid
two or
you.
three beers each, and it was like $15 a beer. It was
Wow.
outrageous.
This is a go ahead.
No, are you changing the subject?
Oh, well, it's kind of it's a very related topic. It's a grinds my gears.
Okay, let me tell mine real quick.
Sounds
So
good.
there is this new thing at the Rays Stadium that I haven't been there since it opened, but they put like a bunch of cameras above the beer section. So instead of like waiting in line at concession stands, you like scan your credit card when you walk in or something, and then you walk through like turntables, kind of like a train station or whatever, and you go grab like whatever drinks you want out of the fridge. I think it's like a 2 beer limit at a per time or whatever,
Yeah.
like most stadiums. But then you just walk out. Like you don't have an interaction with anyone. You don't
Cool.
pay anyone. Like the cameras like process what you took out. It's crazy.
That's pretty sweet. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Where was that?
At Tropicana Field, the Rays
Okay.
Stadium.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
pretty sweet.
All right, what were you gonna
Respect.
say? What's your grinds my gears?
All right. So there's a musical artist that I love and I've loved for a long time.
Taylor
Since
Swift.
no, well, no, I'm very like neutral about Taylor Swift. Let's just say I was excited to not go to that concert. But anyways, his name is Noah Khan. He's not super. I think his album's like top 3 or 4 on the charts right now. So he's not like, he's not T Swift big. This is like his first big hit. But like I've been a fan of his since like last October.
That's good.
And he had before that he had done some collabs. He had a couple albums that like had some good songs. But I've like listened to him for a couple years now, and then like became really invested like 8 months ago. And he just released this new album and like got big. And I was like, oh, like he's coming to Chicago. I want to like go see him. I've been a fan of his for a long time. And again, he is like not you've never even heard of him, I'm sure. And most of our listeners probably haven't either. Guess how much tickets were to go see him?
250.
$300.
Oh,
And I even got like got in
damn.
like the pre-sale lobbies and like miss out. I'm like, for what they were selling, he was selling them for like $40. I'm like, I'm not like my favorite artist. I can't go see for like $300. Like, I'm not gonna pay $300. Like, that's
No.
absurd.
So was it the middleman that was spiking them up so bad?
Yeah, yeah. And it's like a smaller theater, so it's like I may go like, we're gonna try and get him the night of, and I'd pay like, I mean, it's expensive too because like me and Sophia would go. We have two other friends that are trying to go, and so like we'll all monitor it, but like I don't know if we each want to spend like $200.
Yeah.
Like,
That's where I
so it's
was
just
like, they had I went to a Luke Combs concert in the fall, and I went with this girl Bailey from my high school. Shout out Bailey. She got the tickets, set everything up,
yep,
made it super easy for me. We went to the Luke Combs concert with like a bunch of her friends, Jackie and I. Had a great time. I asked her like what I owed her. I think she definitely lied about what the price was, like because she just like wanted us to go and like wanted us to have a good time. I think she lied about how much the tickets cost, like told me way less than what she actually probably paid. And so like we got like this crazy deal on him. And then long story short, he was going to Kansas City to play at Arrowhead again. And I love Luke
yeah,
Combs. So it was a great concert and like I would go see him again. But like Jackie's family was going because her sister and fiance live in Kansas City. But the tickets were like 250 a piece. And so I was just like, I don't really want to spend 250 a piece for like someone that we just kind of saw like a few months ago. So like we
right,
kind of backed out and Jackie had to work anyways, but like I don't know if I would have wanted to go. But like the point is it's so expensive to go to any sort of concert. Like
yeah. It would be one thing too if like if I knew all that money was going to like my favorite artist, I'd feel a little different about it. Like
yeah,
I
like
still probably won't
directly to
go,
them.
but if I was like yeah, like hell yeah, like this is my like this guy I listen to 2 hours a day. I don't, but like like I digest a lot of his content. I'm okay with that going towards like him, but it's like it's not like he's getting $30 from this. Like this isn't
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah. I know
It
it's
sucks.
really crazy to look at that, like how it's been like inflated with the prices. Like I was looking at, I get like emails from like StubHub and stuff and SeatGeek because I've just like bought stuff through them before to go to like a game, and they'll send me like advertisements for like things in Omaha, and it's like there's this one comedian who I've seen on like Instagram Reels or like maybe Twitter, and like he's like a younger guy who's like blowing up a little bit. I don't remember his
Matt
name,
Rife,
but yeah, that's his name.
dude,
Was it Matt Rife?
he's insane. Yeah.
So it said like the tickets, like the cheapest tickets. It said tickets starting at like
$400,
$450.
dude. He is like the hottest thing, right? Like that's like
I don't give
yes,
a shit
this is
how hot. I don't care if you're on fire. That's how hot you are. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. And like the Taylor Swift tickets, like I'm seeing like they're going for like a minimum of like 500 to $1,000. I'm like,
dude.
what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
why are people going to this stuff?
And the whole like T Swift thing, like I get it. That's absurd amount of money to spend on anyone, but like T Swift is at least like
No, do not
no,
validate
no,
this
no.
stuff, dude.
But no, no, no. I'm just saying, comparing Matt Rife, how absurd Matt Rife is right
Yeah,
now.
Matt
Matt
Rife to
Rife was a
Taylor Swift.
comedian for 11 years before he got famous on TikTok. Like he has that $400 ticket was $4 like a year ago.
Yeah,
Like it's insane. Like T
yeah,
Swift is at least like had multiple #1 hits, and it's like okay, you're seeing the hottest show in America. Like Matt Rife is like, and I think he's hilarious. I would love to see him, but it's like this man was like no one knew who he was 6 months ago.
yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Is like as much as so I'm kind of anti Taylor Swift. I don't like
Sure,
I don't hate her, but like I hate the idea of her kind of,
sure,
if that makes sense. Like I hate the obsession with her maybe.
yeah, okay,
And I know I'm probably insulting a lot of people that are listening, but at this point like I can't stand Taylor Swift. And it's nothing against her personally. Actually, it is a little bit against her personally because she has problems with relationships. And then, I would hate to be like one of her boyfriends or ex-boyfriends and have to deal with the repercussions of like you break up and it's probably her fault. And then she makes a whole album just shitting on you and just makes like billions of dollars off of you. But anyways, cut to the chase here. I forgot what I was going to say about Taylor Swift. Oh yeah, as much as I despise Taylor Swift, she she is like a legend, right? Like she is probably
yeah,
like on the Mount Rushmore of female like musicians or performers or whatever you want to call it. Like she's probably on the Mount Rushmore of
right,
females.
right,
So like I understand why tickets would be expensive, but
right.
how expensive for how many shows she's doing? It's not like she's doing like a retirement tour and this is like she's doing only five
That's
more
true.
shows for the rest of her
Yeah,
career. Like people are freaking out about these concerts and like I just don't understand.
yeah,
And could you imagine
yeah.
being like one of the boyfriends or husbands that gets dragged along on one of these things.
Well,
Dude,
so I didn't really tell my T Swift story. Like, so I got
yeah,
tickets
tell your
for
T-Swift.
like, so it was like a complete like crapshoot to get tickets, and Sophie and I were both trying to get tickets because she really wanted to go, and I knew that Sophie was going to go regardless of whether we got tickets or not. She was going to buy in secondary if she didn't get them, and so I was like, crap, like that's going to be way too expensive, and if it's way too expensive, I'm going to have to go with her. And I knew that if I could get tickets, she could convince some of her friends to go at that cheaper price.
Because no one else would pay the price that she was
Because
gonna pay.
no one else was going to pay like $400 to go see Taylor Swift. Like,
Okay.
none of our friends were going to. Just
Sure.
because she has some big Swifty friends that don't live in Chicago, and so it's like they'd have to fly to Chicago and then they'd have to buy the tickets. And
So
like,
so you had internal motivation to get the better deals.
so I was the one who was able to get the tickets because I was like, okay, I'll drive them there,
Yeah.
and pick them up, and I want them to have reasonable price tickets. I was like, if I had to go, that'd be fine. Like, I don't mind paying $100 to go see Taylor Swift. Like, I would do that. I'm not a Swiftie. I'm not anti-Swiftie. I'm very, very neutral. But I did not want to have to pay $400 to go see Taylor Swift, and for my fiance to go pay $400 to go see Taylor Swift. So I tried my damn hardest to get 4 tickets for Sophie and her friends, and then we got them, and 3 friends came, and they had a great time at Taylor Swift.
That's good. That's good. And those are the stories I like to hear. Like, I got nothing against people that love Taylor Swift. Like, it's your own preference, and you going to like see your favorite artist or whatever perform, that's amazing. Like, that makes me happy that people can make themselves happy. But like me, you couldn't catch me dead at a Taylor Swift concert.
It does make me my soul hurt a little bit though when it's like we could have sold those probably for like $400 a piece, and they like were bad tickets, but still,
Yeah, probably easily for that.
Easily, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough pill to swallow. But at the same time, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Like, I'd probably pay. What's the most amount? Like, what would be the greatest sporting event thing that you could go to? Is it like a Game 7 of the NBA Finals?
Game 7, Wolves versus Jimmy Butler.
Okay, so that's the ideal sporting event for you in this era. What about like a Vikings Super Bowl?
That'd be number 2. I mean, yeah, I think a game. I just care more about the Wolves than the Vikings, but it's 1 and 2.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. So, what is the most amount of money that you pay for a ticket to one of these occasions?
Dude, right? Oh my god, dude, I don't know. As much expendable income as I had for a Game 7 Wolves. Like I'm like not even kidding, man. Like,
yeah, like you would call your financial advisor.
Whatever,
like,
how much money I have in my bank account.
Yeah. You're like, how much money do I have, and make room for more, please.
Realistically, if I'm so like my favorite artist, like I'm like complaining about, like I wouldn't pay $300 to go see him. I would pay much more than that to see like a Game 7 Timberwolves like NBA championship.
Yeah, I feel like $500 is my limit. I would not pay more than $500 to see anything.
I think part of my thing with sports though is I just, in my lifetime, I don't know if the Wolves would ever get back to the NBA championship or the Vikings would make the Super Bowl again. Like, not even because I just don't think that it's like it just doesn't happen much for teams to make the championship.
Especially shitty teams like the Wolves and the Minnesota Vikings.
I don't know, they're both on the up and up.
Yeah, but they're not championship bound. Just like my favorite teams. I guess that's a good point. Like, if the Chicago Bears make the Super Bowl, or if the Oregon Ducks make the national championship.
The Bears have won the Super Bowl. It's a little different.
Not in my lifetime, though.
Okay. They've been in it.
Like, 85 is a long time ago, dude.
Yeah.
That's 12 years before I was even born.
Beginning of the planet's a long time too, man.
Yeah, that's true too. Like, the start of the sport.
So, okay, so you got Bears, and then would Rays be your second?
Yeah, I mean, my number one, honestly, would probably be Bears Super Bowl.
Okay.
My number, and this isn't even like my ranking of favorite teams though, which is kind of weird. But like a Super Bowl, I feel like is a bigger deal than most other things.
Yeah, for sure. It's different. Yeah.
And then like probably an Oregon Ducks national championship.
Okay, I didn't see that coming.
And then a Rays World Series, Game 7 or whatever. But it's just like a series is hard to put above those other two because it's a series.
Yeah, I just think a Game 7 would be so much fun. But
it would be fun. But could you imagine paying like so much money to go to one of those games and then your team loses?
Yeah. I think about that a lot.
That would be devastating.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was like this podcast that I listened to. They had this guy that's like a diehard Eagles fan, and then this other guy that had this huge future on the Eagles. So he put like 8 grand on the Eagles at the start of the year, and if the Eagles won the Super Bowl, he would make like 250K. So he basically said to this Eagles fan, who's like a producer or whatever, he's like, I will buy you a ticket to the Super Bowl. It was like 6 grand or 7 grand. And he's like, I'll buy you the ticket. And if the Eagles win and my future cashes, you will not have to pay me back. But if the Eagles lose and my future doesn't cash, you have to pay me back for the ticket. And he went, and obviously the Eagles lost, so he owed this guy like 7 grand. But
Which
it's
is
like
bad math.
I feel like I would take that risk where at least like if they win, you have the chance like of going to that game for free. Like you can't turn that opportunity down.
I don't know.
Well,
Okay.
you're the big math guy, you're the odds guy. What's going through your head right now?
He should have cashed out early. I think he could have. I mean, I think he.
Oh,
what
I
the
would
odds-
100% cashed out.
I think
for
that
the
that's what I
first
would
guy?
do and then overpay. I think that that's the better move. But sure. I mean, yeah. I guess.
Well, yeah. If I was the guy that had the future, I would definitely hedge. I would definitely cash out early.
Yes.
In this situation, I'm talking about the Eagles fan. Like if you're in the position of you're the Vikings fan and this super rich guy says, I have this future on the Vikings, I'll let you go to the game. If the Vikings win, you don't owe me for the ticket. If the Vikings lose, you have to pay me back 7 grand. Are you taking
Yeah.
that?
That's okay.
risk?
Yeah. I think I would do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I would too.
Yeah.
It would be kind of fun to like have that there. And then I would almost like, without telling the guy, maybe I would put like a huge bet on the other team.
Oh, for sure.
Just
Yeah.
balance it out. And I'm sure he
Yeah.
probably did that,
No.
and then just like
Yeah.
they play it out like they're all like devastated and shit. And I can't believe it because like it's a no brainer to just go put 5 grand on the Chiefs at that point to like win the Super
Mhm.
Bowl, right?
Yeah.
you're
That, I
like-
think that's more what I was thinking about was just, I think there's a better way to do that. But yeah.
Yeah, of course there's a better way to do it. But I think for like the show and like the entertainment factor, it would be dumb if like they both just come out as winners.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But I don't know. That stuff is
Yeah.
fun.
I for sure would pay like in the future Craig would definitely pay 7 grand to have a Wolves championship. That'd be
Ah.
fun too.
That's a lot of money, dude. I don't even have 7 grand in my name right now. I don't
No,
think.
I don't right now either, but like, like I would.
But
I'd make it happen.
yeah, you make it happen. I get that. Speaking of talking about pop culture, I've just like randomly screenshotted or like put in my notes app like things I wanted to bring up with you whenever I see it. And one of the things I wanted to talk about is this Victor Wembanyama. So for those of you that don't know, Victor Wembanyama is this French kid. He's like, what is he? 17 years old?
He's older than that. I'll look him up.
18?
I
He's
would
this
guess 18.
young French kid. He's like 7'3", 225 pounds. Like he's really thin.
19.
He's really tall. How old is he?
19 and a half.
19 and a half, almost 20 years old. But he's young. He's like this freak. He's like the best NBA prospect since LeBron James. So that's a little history lesson for those of you that don't know. He was picked number 1 overall by the San Antonio Spurs. And then like almost immediately after going to the NBA, he gets in this controversy with Britney Spears out of all people for like she accuses him of slapping her in the face.
His bodyguard. It wasn't him.
Oh, I thought she accused him of slapping her in the face.
No, it was his bodyguard.
Oh, well, Victor Wembanyama shouldn't be held accountable for bodyguards.
Yeah, no, he doesn't. No, yeah,
She probably got too close for comfort, and then they defended him. That's like they're doing their job.
she said she was a huge like Victor and Spurs fan, and so like went up to him, and like the bodyguard didn't know who she was and slapped her.
Ah, damn. Yeah, that's tough. Where do you stand on this situation then? Are you team Victor Wembanyama or team Britney Spears?
I don't know. I kind of free Britney. That's I'm team free Britney.
Team free Britney. No, that's the easy way out, dude. I'm team Victor Wembanyama's bodyguard.
She's
I would
just a
say
fan.
Anybody that comes close, you can't sit there and turn around and like process who's running at your guy. You got to just react, and he reacted, and I respect that. But at the same time, you can't hit women, so don't hit women.
It's like of all the people, like I don't know if Britney Spears is like physically imposing enough to like scare me as a bodyguard.
Yeah, I don't. But I'm just gonna believe that he didn't know that it was like a woman that was coming at him. Maybe it was just like he saw like a
Yeah.
flash of a person. And I don't know, Victor Wembanyama's like blown up, obviously, in popularity over the past like couple months. But that's a tough position for everybody to be in. You never like Victor Wembanyama. It's like he's like a racehorse, right? And Britney Spears, everyone knows don't sneak up on a racehorse from behind, and she did that. And next thing you know, got the boot from the body.
Next thing you know, Victor has a bad game one in the NBA Summer League.
He had a bad game in game one, and then all the Britney Spears Twitter accounts were attacking him, shitting all over him. So that was a tough scene from my guy Victor Wembanyama. Okay, question here. I got this tweet. This guy tweeted, just saw an adult drinking a beer at a 16U tournament baseball game at noon on a Wednesday. The optics aren't good. How do you feel about that tweet? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's tough. I don't know. I mean,
do you think I guess my question is, do you think it's okay to drink at a youth baseball game on noon on a Wednesday?
I feel like I don't know. One way I answer I'm a hater, the other way I answer I'm an alcoholic. Like
I don't know, dude. Just answer with your true feelings.
I think it's a bad look. I think like if it was one thing, if it was with like all his buddies and it was like a Saturday night and they had a beer, I would be okay with it. But like if you're drinking at like noon on a Wednesday, I hope he's okay. I don't know. That's my thought. And I hope that the kid's okay too.
There's another good example of us not seeing eye to eye because I'm fully team have a beer at your son's baseball game. This guy's probably at some expensive travel team baseball game. He just was sitting at this game. It's like probably 95 degrees. He's watching his kid who probably sucks play baseball. Like, I completely understand why you wanted to just crack a beer, enjoy the game. Like, I went to this baseball game. It was my residency program director's son, and this was a good baseball game. Like, these kids were good, solid players, but they're I feel like he's like gonna be a freshman in high school, maybe eighth grade. So it was that grade level. And I went to the game to like support her and watch her son. And it was in Council Bluffs, which is like 30 minutes from me. So I was like, heck yeah, like I want to see her, I want to go. I was at this game and I like looked at her after like the first or second inning, and I was just like, it was probably Saturday at like 1 p.m., maybe 2. And I looked at her, I was just like, man, I probably should have bought like a cooler of beers. Like, is it socially acceptable to drink beers here? And she was just like, I don't think so. And I was just like, okay, then I'm glad I didn't bring a cooler of beers. And she was like, I wouldn't care, but like, I think it would be weird if you just like started cracking beers at 2 o'clock on this eighth grade baseball game. So.
Okay, David, this is a weird instance, but I think you've convinced me. I almost cracked a beer open 2 Sundays ago at a Cubs game at like 2 p.m. I'm team crack open a beer.
Well, yeah, obviously you're at a Cubs game. You're gonna drink a beer.
No, but I don't think it's any like as long as like I'm not like we're not like sloppy drunk. Like I think it's fine.
I think the controversy is the age level that you're watching. So why is it acceptable to drink at a Cubs game, watching professionals, but not acceptable at a 16U game, or a 15U or whatever it might be? Why? Where's the discrepancy?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's setting a bad example is the counter argument, but I don't know. I think you can also teach. I think as long as he's being responsible, I don't have a problem with it. I think.
Yeah, like I'm not saying you get like belligerent drunk. That's obviously not acceptable. Yeah.
I'm thinking of like Good Will Hunting where they're like drinking, like getting wasted at like drinking out of paper bags. Like.
What scene of Good Will Hunting is that?
It's like one of the opening scenes. They're doing it.
Oh, okay.
Then they go get in the fight at the basketball park.
Dude, I think you're thinking of like West Side Story.
I swear it's in Good Will Hunting.
I love Good Will Hunting. But anyways, all right, I saw this other tweet I wanted to get your thoughts on. Pick your brain. You borrowed $50 from a friend. Okay, so imagine it's me, it's Ben Schultz, it's one of your close friends. Borrowed $50 from a friend and played the lottery, and you won $80 million. How much are you giving your friend? I give you $50, you go play the lottery, you win $80 million. How much are you giving me back?
$2 million?
All right, yeah, I'll take $2 million. That's a nice answer.
I don't know. I think half is absurd, and I think nothing is absurd, and I don't know. I think $2 million.
Yeah, I was probably going to say $50. Just give your $50 back.
I'm not giving you any money to go bet on the lottery.
Yeah, but you're nicer than me, so that's a nice answer. I appreciate that. I'll take $2 million. I would probably say realistically.
Okay. I'd say like 500,000 is like my answer.
500,000 to $1 million. Yeah.
Yeah. $2 million. Yeah. I don't know.
It's like, thanks for the $50, but like it's my luck, not your luck.
Yeah.
And now you still
And
make like a
and
band.
you also made
Yeah.
yeah.
Like you still have a great investment. And like realistically, you wouldn't have to tell me that you made 80 million. You could tell me that you made a million and you're giving me half, and I would think you're the greatest friend in the world.
Yeah.
Because it's not usually like public information how much you win from a lottery, right?
I don't know. I know the Powerball is, but I don't think most lotteries are the Powerball.
I feel like most non-Powerball lotteries aren't going to be 80 mil.
No, for sure not.
I think I'm going to start playing the lottery. I always used, I always used to be I always used to be against it, but now that I'm actually out in the working force, like I'm trying to get out ASAP, and I think playing the lottery might be my key to victory.
I've got nothing, man. Like just
I know you're a numbers guy and a probability guy,
it's
so you're
yeah,
probably
you're not that's not the
30.
way to get out, man. I'm just saying.
You don't think so?
I don't think so.
Yeah, but think how sweet it would be if you won.
It'd be pretty sweet.
I feel like you're just chasing that high for your whole life.
I think what's tough though too is like, okay, 80 million is like for sure life-changing money. But
You're the type of guy that's like, then you're gonna get taxed on probably half that.
yeah, exactly. Like you
I knew
know,
you were
like
gonna say
I
that.
don't know. Like I don't know if you win 20 million, like that's probably still like life-changing money, but at the end of the day, like if it's 10 million, like yeah, you're gonna buy a way nicer house and stuff and things are gonna be great, but like does it change your life that much?
It depends on how you use it. I think if you blow it all on like material items, which I definitely would,
Yeah.
then it's not smart and it's
Yeah.
not that life
It
changing.
can buy you a lot of shiny things, but like you still like we are gonna our generation is gonna live till we're like 100 and like healthcare is expensive and
I will
things will
not
just have
live
to
till I'm
save us.
100.
But
There's no way in hell I'm living till I'm 100.
doctors are gonna carry us through to the grave, David.
Dude, there's no doctor in the world, not even Dr. House, could get my ass to 100 with my lifestyle. Speaking of that, dude, that remember my New Year's resolution going to the gym?
Yeah, how's that going?
So decent. Did like the actual like me going to the gym part is going well. Okay, so I've done a good job of going. There's been some weeks when I only go twice or three times, so those have been disappointing weeks for sure. But I'm changing my strategy. I think I'm going to be done or minimize the amount of weights that I'm lifting, and I'm going to focus more on cardio.
Mm,
So I've been lifting weights for I started February 1st and now it's July, so 5 months. And
that's pretty good.
I haven't seen many results. I think weight wise, I'm like net neutral because I'm putting on muscle. But I think I'm gonna start doing cardio and be cardio heavy and seeing if that gets me in better lung health, better cardiovascular health, lose some weight. Like that's what I'm more concerned about now than being like shredded. I'd rather just like be more cut than shredded.
Okay.
So I'm like ripping
I
the
respect
stair
it.
stepper, I'm ripping the bike, I'm ripping the treadmill. But like I don't know if when I'm on the stair stepper, like am I gonna get off and just have like a Kim K ass, or am I gonna be in better shape? Like my legs burn so bad and like my glutes burn. Like, am I doing the right stuff? I don't know. Maybe I need to hire a personal trainer.
I think you should just go run. Go run 5 miles. That'll do it for you.
Dude, I can't. I have tried to run and I just can't run. Like I get so dead. I can't do it. Like the longest I've gone is 2 miles. When does this quote unquote runner's high kick in? Because I really need some runner's high.
Slow it down a little bit, and then you'll hit it.
You think slow it down?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm sprinting too fast.
I think you're going too fast. You played football and basketball where those are sprinting things where you're going fast for short amounts of time and you recover. I'd slow it down.
But the amount of my thought process is, and I think you're right, and I agree with you, but my thought process while I'm running is like I usually run for a distance versus like a time. So if I'm running for a distance, the faster I run, the faster I can get it over with.
I agree with
So
you. It sucks.
I'm like
I agree.
hauling ass down the street and then I just like am dying. Like my lungs are burning. It feels like the devil is pissing down into my lungs. I can't breathe. My knees start hurting. They get sore and my left knee gets inflamed and painful. My back starts hurting because I'm like probably running with like Hunchback of Notre Dame posture. Like it's a problem. So maybe I do need to slow it down. I don't know.
The issue is though is if you slow it down too much, then you get bored.
Yeah,
So
I'm already bored. Like I hate running. So
yeah.
boring.
So I got to play basketball again.
But one thing that I've noticed that helps with the boredom is I listen to a podcast while I do cardio. If I try to listen to music or do nothing, there's no way I
Yeah,
can do it. I get so
I'm the
bored.
same.
I'm just dead. I'm sick of it. I have this buddy Steve. He runs like 10 to 15 miles and listens to nothing. He has no headphones in.
Oh my god,
He
that is
just
a red flag. That is
that's
a
red,
red
dude.
freaking
That's
flag.
psycho behavior. Yeah, I've told him that. I'm like, dude, you need to be in a straitjacket because that is
He
psycho.
is a serial killer, like
Yeah, he's for
straight
sure a
up.
serial killer. He probably runs and leaves and kisses his fiance on the forehead and says, "I'll see you in a couple hours. I'm gonna go run 15 miles." Murders 10 people along the way and comes back. And she's like, "You forgot your headphones, honey." He's like, "No, I had enough entertainment on the way. Thank you, though." You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, nice guy, but maybe he's covering something up.
I need to meet this guy. Actually, I don't want to meet him because I'm scared now.
Yeah, keep your distance. Steve's a dangerous man.
His name's Steve too. That's just like a serial killer name.
Yeah, yeah, that is a serial killer name. Um, But yeah, you got to listen to like some, I think listening to podcasts has helped me for sure. Speaking of basketball though, I bought a basketball on Amazon and I shot hoops 3 times now, 3 different occasions where I've gone like to the like outside basketball court around it's like next to the gym that I go to for our apartment.
Yeah,
They have a full court basketball court. So I just been like shooting hoops on there and like I am broke. My jumper is broke. And I just forgot like how long it's been since I've like played basketball. It's been like 3 years, 4 years.
that's what you should do, man. Just do some shooting drills. Like do that for your cardio. You jump, you run. You're not going to be bored.
I know, but what if I like explode my ACL again?
Do you think is it that weak still? Like, is that how that works?
I don't
I
think
don't
it's
know.
weak. I don't think it's weak, but I don't think it really was ever weak. And it just like
That's fair.
ripped apart like a string cheese, you know? Like,
Yeah. I hate injuries.
yeah. So I'm trying to avoid injuries at all costs. But like sometimes, I was like shooting around a little bit and I'd just be like, I gotta move. And I would just get a rebound, like do a full court, like fast break by myself, do a layup, full court fast break back to the other hoop that I was shooting at, and then just like shoot again and just like get like a little intermix some cardio in there, you know?
Yeah.
But if you ever come visit, we'll shoot some hoops because it's
Okay.
been a while since you and I have hooped together.
Yeah. I've been starting to play about once a week, so that's been good for me. But
You playing indoors or outdoors?
indoors, yeah.
Good for you. Just be safe. Stretch.
Yeah. Now you're gonna be scared about my ACLs.
Don't be scared. Don't let the fear of injuring yourself get in the way of you playing. I think the fear is one of the main reasons why people can get hurt.
Yeah. No, I agree with that for sure. But
Make sure you stretch and just don't put bad vibes into the atmosphere. Because I believe right before I tore my ACL, like I literally said out loud, I'm probably going to get injured today. So don't say that because your words are powerful and they can do a lot of things. So if you speak it into existence, it's going to happen. And that's probably the biggest mistake that I made. Number one biggest mistake was playing in that auxiliary gym with a bunch of Mormons on a dusty ass floor. Number two was not stretching. And number three was speaking that into existence, saying I'm probably going to get hurt.
there you have it, folks. That's why he's peaked in college.
Yeah, that's why I peaked in college. Post ACL is when I've been trajectory downhill ever since then.
I do think though that basketball for me is the best workout that I can have. I just get bored running, and so at least I can do it for a long period of time and get cardio. So
Basketball is an amazing workout. I think like just running up and down the floor is an amazing workout.
yeah,
You don't see a lot of guys that like you do see fat guys playing basketball, but like if you don't see a lot of fat guys that are trying hard playing basketball, like
right, yeah,
guys that are playing competitive pickup basketball are in good shape.
and they're also like super quick. Like if they actually like are like good, like they're really good.
Who, the fat guys?
Yeah,
Yeah, like fat guys find a way to be successful and they're
yeah,
quick. They're quick on their
but there's
feet.
not many of them. There's not many of them. Like most of the
No,
fat guys.
there's
So
not many. Yeah. Most of them aren't very agile, but there's some. They're
there's
agile.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. They got skinny legs and skinny feet, just a fat belly. Kind of like me these days. But I don't know. What else you got, Craig? Should we wrap it up?
Yeah, that sounds good. We've been going for a while. This has been fun though.
Yeah, it's been good. It's had nice flow to it. It's good. It's always good to be back. It's always good to see your face, hear your voice. Hopefully the fans think the same way, but we'll see what happens. But
If not, they'll stop listening and it'll just be us.
yeah, that's fine. I'm still going to be putting the videos out there, and whether people want to listen or not, that's up to them. But this has been. Do you have any final words before I close this out?
Nope. Just don't
Any well,
trust Dusty.
any well wishes for the fans?
Happy summer solstice was maybe a couple weeks ago, so happy belated summer solstice.
Yeah, or like the 4th of July or something more
Yeah,
significant.
or I guess 4th of July. Yeah, 4th of July is a great holiday. It's fun.
Summer
so.
solstice. This guy, the first thing that pops into his head is summer
It
solstice.
wasn't the first thing. Happy summer league. Go Wolves.
Yeah. All right. Happy summer league. Happy baseball season. We're in the dog days of summer. Go Rays. Everybody be rooting for the Rays this weekend against the Kansas City Royals, or the Kansas Shitty Royals, as some people say. I'll be out there. Keep your eyes peeled for me. I'll be one of the only guys in the stadium wearing Rays gear. So hopefully I don't get jumped or shot or killed. But most people out there, I'm sure, at the Royals games will not be crazy fans, because they are the second worst team in Major League Baseball, if you missed that from earlier. So you can't be too bitter for other people rooting for other teams, because your team is absolutely garbage. So this has been another successful episode of Peaked in College, episode 24 to be exact. Shout out Kobe Bryant. Shout out Kenyon Barner. Do you have any number 24s that you want to shout out?
Nope.
All right, there it is. Kobe Bryant, Kenyon Barner. Those are my guys. Number 24. Shout out you guys. Thank you, Craig. Thank you, fans. Love you guys. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, David.